Hey everyone, today we'll be focusing on graphs today. Particularly we'll be focusing on recursive depth first search for an undirected graph. Without any further hesitation, let's get started. And now we're going to perform depth first search recursively. So the way we are going to be going about this is that all we need to do for the following, for recursion based on principle, is typically just repeating processes over and over. This saves on time, in particular when developing and such. So for us to be able to actually do such, we're going to have two functions. We're going to have our helper function and then our actual function we call. So within our helper function, we're going to have void dfs recursive, and then we're going to have int v with vector of boolean to determine what has been visited. Make sure you're spelling correctly. And then visited, indicating for each vertex that we have to be true, and then we're going to output vector accordingly with regard to space, and then we're going to have this for auto loop. So for auto I equals adjacency for v at the beginning, since we're doing this recursively, then I doesn't equal adjacency for the vertex at the end. Then we're just going to increment I accordingly, and then if the following iterator or visited iterator has not been visited, then we're just going to call upon this function to indicate and redeclare each vertex that we have visited to be true. Oh, hang on, let me just make sure we're doing this correctly. There we go. And that means all we have to do is call upon this function right here, and then we're just going to keep putting inside of our iterator and then indicate what has been visited. There we go. And now we're going to call upon our actual function that we call, and that means all we need to do is void dfs recursive start with indicating int v, and then we're going to have a vector of booleans indicated what has been visited within our particular vertex that we have already called upon, or actually redeclared over here, starting from the very beginning. Yeah, I know, like stupid correction. It indicated. Yeah. And initialize as false. Then we're going to have this helper function that we're going to call dfs recursive, indicate for v, and then visited. And then we're going to keep outputting because we've already made our outputs accordingly within this helper function that we have called. Now, to go inside of our main function, now we're going to do this recursively. So dfs recursive, starting from the very first first vertex. So all we need to do is go dfs recursive at the very start. Since recursion based on principle, you can go back and forth accordingly and repeating the same process over and over again. So just based on principle, what we have, just make things cleaner. So we can have recursive start. And then let's go with the very first vertex that we have. So it's going to give us the same output, just the way we were able to build out depth first search. It's just from a recursive perspective. There we go. So it's going to have the exact same output that we have over here. It's just a way of how we actually built out depth first search. So now the next part that we will be doing, we'll be focusing on breadth first search iteratively, and then breadth first search recursively. So let's head over and focus on breadth first search iteratively. Hey everyone, thank you very much for taking time to watch this. If you found this video helpful, be sure and feel free to please like and subscribe. And if you have any other questions or suggestions, please put them in the comment section. And as always, take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.